Well, first at 4, the Savannah-Chatham County school system facing some uncertainty around its upcoming budget. This comes as officials wait for key revenue numbers that will help shape the final decisions.
WSCV's Nakaya Harris has what the school leaders are actually saying behind the scenes.
Yeah, Andrew and Tina, it's what's driving concern after talk of a $6.1 million gap circulated. But school leaders say those figures are only from a possible scenario. They tell me early budget discussions yesterday included a proposed scenario that showed about $6.1 million in potential reductions. While that may sound alarming, officials say no budget has been approved and those numbers are not final. The district is still waiting on the county's tax digest, which makes up about 2/3 of its revenue. District leaders say the potential deficit would come from a combination of factors, including a drop in state funding, rising costs, and a drop in enrollment.
We are fiscally sound. Right now, we're waiting for the assessor's office to provide us with what money we'll be getting. And when we get that, we will set not only the budget, but also the millage rate.
And once again, district leaders say once the tax digest is received, the outlook will become more clear and they will move forward with setting a final budget and a millage rate ahead of June 30th, that June 30th deadline. Nakaya Harris, WSCV News 3 on your side.
Nakaya, thanks so much. We're now getting a look at the second man arrested in an armed robbery investigation involving the son of Savannah City Alderman Dietrich Leggett. Chatham County Police took 21-year-old Chukli Robinson into custody Tuesday night along with 21-year-old Kashawn Leggett. Those two are accused of robbing a man at gunpoint along Bridgewater Drive. Both are charged with armed robbery, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of a crime.
Tybee Island police say one suspect is in custody and another is on the run right now after a bizarre and violent confrontation with an officer. We're told the officer was conducting an investigation on Tybrisa Street May 25th when a couple walked up and the man threatened to take the officer's badge and gun. The couple left, then came back, and the man became confrontational again, so the officer arrested him. The officer says the man actively resisted and was unaffected by the officer's taser. The woman allegedly tried to get back in between them and at one point exposed herself before she was also arrested. We're told she relieved herself in the patrol car, and both were taken to the hospital for medical evaluation, where they continue to be combative. During the chaos, the woman escaped through an unsecured door. The man was booked in Chatham County's detention center on a number of charges. We are working to learn more about both suspects, and we'll keep you updated on air and online.
And a Chatham County grand jury has indicted the suspect of a deadly hit and run that happened last September. Clyde Johnson was arrested back in March in connection to that deadly hit and run last September in Chatham County that claimed the life of Stuart Brady. Johnson was originally charged with hit and run and tampering with evidence, but the grand jury is now also facing him with charges of vehicular homicide.
WSCV is your local election headquarters. Republican gubernatorial candidate Rick Jackson is in the Coastal Empire, relying and rallying on voters ahead of the upcoming runoff elections. Jackson and supporters gathered at Tubby's Tank House in Thunderbolt for a campaign event. He focused on several issues, including taxes, school systems, employment, and why he's the best choice for governor.
People resonate with the fact that I'm not a politician, that I have struggled and I know how to do that. And my promise to our kids and people growing up in Georgia on both sides of the aisle is I'm going to show them how they can be successful and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and overcome the hurdles that they're doing, because I've done it and I'm going to show them how to do it.
Jackson is preparing for a runoff election against Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones to become the Republican nominee for governor. The winner of that runoff will face Democratic nominee Keisha Lance Bottoms in November. Early voting for Georgia's runoff elections begins next Monday, June 8th. It runs through June 12th. Runoff election day is June 16th.
We're in the final days of early voting for South Carolina's primary, but now one candidate for governor is suspending his campaign. Republican State Senator Josh Kimbrell says he's ending his campaign to be the Palmetto State's next governor. Kimbrell said running was a great honor, but his bid didn't work out for a variety of reasons, including what he called total slander and absolute libelous attacks against him and his family. Kimbrell said he will continue to focus on his duties in the state legislature and did not endorse any other candidate in the Republican primary. Now, tomorrow is the last day to vote early in South Carolina's primary, Election Day, next Tuesday, June 9th. For more information about those elections, as well as both in Georgia and South Carolina, head to WSAV.com/electionhq.
Residents across the coastal empire continue to feel the impact from years of dangerous storms. WSAV's Evan Smoke was in Bullock County today. There, organizations held an open house offering assistance with recovery.
Here at Pittman Park United Methodist Church in Statesboro, residents from 7 counties were invited to an open house where they could learn more about how nonprofit organizations can help them in their storm recovery journey. On Thursday, attendees could speak with case managers to see what assistance was available for their ongoing recovery efforts. Multiple local nonprofits, like United Way of Southeast Georgia, were also present to see if they could provide assistance for those affected.
You don't realize how many people are still struggling from the hurricanes, how many people may have been displaced and they're still living couch to couch or with family, how many people still may not have a roof that works or still struggling to catch up income-wise. And so we're here trying to just be one of a group of people in Bullock County, in Statesboro, trying to help people recover.
The open house will remain open until 6 o'clock this evening. Reporting in Statesboro, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The Coastal Empire, home to thousands of active military members in one local community, making it a little easier for these individuals to attain jobs after their service. At a city council meeting earlier this week, the city signed an agreement with the United States Army and joined their Partnership for Your Success or PAYS program. That program matches outgoing service members with employers and guarantees interviews for applicants. That's the ones leaving the armed forces. Statesboro Human Resources Director Demetrius Bynes says the city joined the partnership because former military members have the traits the city looks for in their employees.
The city of Statesboro is part of a community that believes in the armed services. We support our military, and we also realize that when we're talking about those service members, they are already committed to serving their community and their nation, and so they're an ideal fit for employees of our organization.
Now, Bynes says city job openings are already visible on the city's website.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, this evening in our Time Saver Traffic Report, we are watching some extra congestion along Interstate 95 and Pooler at Pooler Parkway. There's the overpass with Airways as well. Definitely a lot of traffic out there, but it's at least flowing. Speeds are pretty close to normal. Same thing for Interstate 16 eastbound and westbound. Down on the southern end of Chatham County on 204 Abercorn Street, heading toward US 17 and I-95. Just a bottleneck occurring right now in Georgetown, typical for this time of the day, with speeds around 35 miles per hour. But on the major roadways, not taking too much longer than normal, taking just about a half an hour to get to the Bullock County line from downtown Savannah.